So our next presenter, this is something that we just recently found out about. There's a nonprofit called StutterFly. And I thought, what in the world is StutterFly? So, Stephen Moates will tell us all about it. It is innovative, it's exciting, it's fresh. And thank you for bringing it to StutterFresh. StutterFest. Take it away, Stephen.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate it. And Carl, I don't get to see you as often, but it's great to see you too. And I really appreciate the opportunity just to, hey, Carl, present my idea, the StutterFly, and our nonprofit that we just started here recently. I'm going to share. Do I have screen share? Yes, I do. I'm going to share my screen. As Tom mentioned, the name of our nonprofit is StutterFly, and it's a combination of stuttering and fly fishing. And really the mission of our nonprofit is building community with people who stutter through fly fishing and the outdoors. And I'm going to give you a QR code. If you want to use your phone and follow along, there's some live links here that you can click on your phone and go to our website and check out our website and actually sign up for our newsletter and things like that. So feel free to do that. So just a little bit about me. I'm not going to hang out here for too long. I am a clinical assistant professor for Baylor University. I'm the clinical outreach director for our online program. I actually live in the North Georgia mountains, which gives me access to a lot of smaller streams for trout fishing and fly fishing and things like that. I'm also an adjunct instructor for Moates State University in Columbia College in South Carolina. I also help out at the National Stuttering Association as the national chapter coordinator, and I'm on the Special Topics Committee. And then recently, I'm not sure, I wanted to mention this as well. If you are a college instructor, we have just started, Anna Paula Mummy and I have just started a steer circle. The co-founder and co-facilitator partnered with Spiro Stuttering. It's an enrichment opportunity for graduate students that we're going to meet once a month throughout the calendar year, starting in August, and just have different topics about stuttering. And because we know a lot of graduate students, they don't get enough training at the graduate level for stuttering. So we just wanted to offer an enrichment opportunity. And Spiro Stuttering, Anna Paula, has been very generous in offering a $100 stipend for any student who attends all of this session. So please feel free to share any information about that. We're looking to fill that cohort here pretty soon. So, but that's a little bit about me. So I don't know my audience a lot. So I added this slide because I wanted to just talk just a few minutes about what is fly fishing. And I'm sure all of us are very familiar with fishing, but fly fishing is a little different in that most of the time you are wading in the water in smaller creeks in the mountains, and using a fly rod, which is a fly rod can anywhere be from 7 feet to 9 feet long. And you use more, energy built up in the rod to propel the line forward versus just pushing a button and casting the rod in a traditional reel and rod. But these are some pictures that I have accumulated over the years of just different people that I have fished with. These are not cut and paste off Google or anything. These are actually people that I have fished with over probably the last 10 years or so. There's a couple of pictures of me in there out west where I love to go fish as well, out in Wyoming and Montana and those areas. So so as Tom says, really, what in the world are we doing with stuttering and fly fishing? And why am I combining those, and why are we here, and why are we talking about this? So I just wanted to bring a couple, other nonprofits to your attention as well, and kind of set a precedent for for what we're doing. There are so many organizations out there that are using fly fishing in order to connect to their community. And a couple of the examples of this is the Mayfly Project. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. They mentor foster children through fly fishing. I'm actually, my son is adopted, and I got involved in this project years ago, probably about 10 years ago when I started fly fishing, and I've been a mentor with them for several years and helping out with their projects. And so that's their community, is foster children. Casting for Recovery is another organization that takes women who are recovering from breast cancer. They take them out fly fishing, and that's the community that they work with. Healing Waters, Project Healing Waters, is an organization that takes veterans who have been wounded in war and things like that. They take them out fly fishing, and that is the community that they work with. And then On the Mend is another organization that I just learned about here recently. It takes any child who has been exposed to trauma or illness or anything like that, and they take them out and they do fly fishing events for them. And so as I looked at those websites and really came up with, what are some themes that could be used in, two passion areas for me. One is stuttering. I really enjoy the stuttering community and working. I'm a speech language pathologist. I love working with people who stutter. And then on the other side, I love fly fishing. That's how I spend most of my free time. How can I combine two passions like that into one organization? And that's really how I came up with the name StutterFly. But if we look at these websites, these are some themes that I just kind of wanted to point out for just a few minutes. Almost every one of them say this: nature is therapeutic in healing. And I think we know that from just being out and walking in nature. It's the reason we have state parks and we have just other parks in the city where people can get out in nature, because we know that there's an inner healing that goes on, and it's very therapeutic just to be outside. Fly fishing teaches patience, confidence, persistence, and decision making. So if you are interested in fly fishing, you will learn this very quickly, that patience is something that you're going to need, because with fly fishing, you're not using 20-pound test line, you're using 3-pound test line. And so, and you are trying to catch very finicky fish that will often look at your fly 20 times, and the fly will pass by the fish 20 or so times before the fish will actually take the fly. And then you can set the hook and all. But so it takes a lot of patience to do that in some situations, especially if they're high pressure. It builds confidence. It teaches persistence, and also with decision making. If you're familiar with fly fishing, and the number of flies and things like that are out there, trying to match the hatch is probably one of the most difficult things that you can do sometimes. I've been fishing out in, I'll tell this for just a few minutes. I was fishing out in Missoula, Montana, out on the Bitterroot, and I'm waist deep out there, and there are fish just rising and taking bugs and things like that. And I'm sitting here going through my fly box, and I think I've tied on every fly that I could possibly tie on, and I've cast it out there and nothing. But I'm talking huge monster fish are just coming up and just eating something off the top of the water. And so it takes having the right fly at the right time in order to catch some of those bigger fish, but it's really fun to watch them. And then the last thing that I noticed was fly fishing you have to have flexibility, or has flexibility. It can be a quiet time to reflect. You can do it in isolation if you need to get away and just have some time to yourself and nature, and then be more therapeutic and healing in that way. Or it can be a team activity where you go out with a buddy or a small group, and really it can be more of a community building activity. That in itself can be therapeutic and healing. And I think fly fishing can be done on a very small stream. that's in the mountains. It can be on a larger river out in Montana. It can be in the ocean, out in deep sea fishing. You can actually fly fish out there. So it has a lot of flexibility too. And so those are really three themes that stuck out to me when I was looking at these different fly fishing nonprofits, their ability to connect with community. And when I saw that, I thought, this is an opportunity to use fly fishing and the stuttering community and bring it together and create StutterFly. So StutterFly is a 501c3. Our four objectives is, of course, building community with through fly fishing and the outdoors. The other is just building adventure into our outdoor activities. We also advocate for the stuttering community. And then under our umbrella also, since I'm a speech language pathologist, I do offer speech language therapy services to children who stutter, specifically in rural areas. And I'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So again, these are the four themes with community: building connections through outdoor activities with others, adventure, meeting new opportunities with openness and a willingness to learn and engage in an outdoor environment. So that's really when I looked at how do we want to define adventure, being able to, someone mentioned earlier, step outside the comfort zone and but also still be comfortable doing that. How can we do that and put adventure into that and build community around that? Advocacy, providing resources and training for the stuttering community, partnering with other nonprofits, people who stutter, allies, and others to promote a successful communication environment. So I've presented to several school districts here in North Georgia and Western North Carolina, and looking for other opportunities to present and do that. And so also just partnering with teachers and helping children in a one-to-one situation to advocate for their communication needs like that. And then with communication, improving communication through a holistic, person-centered approach while partnering with stakeholders to educate others about stuttering and advocate for the community as well. So those are closely tied to each other there. But those are our four main goals for the nonprofit. So why StutterFly? Really, I live in North Georgia, which is a very rural area, and I know there are other stuttering. Work with the National Stuttering Association. Many of our chapters are within the larger cities, but also there's a need for building community in more rural areas outside of the cities. And I thought, how can we connect these children and connect these people with one another through an outdoor activity? So there is a need there for community, and through fly fishing, whether that be a hiking trip, whether that be an activity at a state park or something like that. Talk mostly about fly fishing, but we are open to other activities that may attract other individuals that may not be into fishing, but fly fishing is our main objective. So the need for stuttering therapy services in rural areas, training and having a high quality, I guess, stuttering therapy services in rural areas is much needed. Making connections, an opportunity for parents to connect. So we do have an event coming up in June in North Georgia and Helen, Georgia. We have offered for the parents to stay and connect while the children are out. I'm going to lead a small group discussion for the parents, just to have an opportunity for them to meet and talk about challenges and things like that. So we're talking about parents who are living, there may be one child in the entire school district who stutters. And so the child may feel isolated, but the parents also feel isolated. So helping connect them will also be super helpful. Support local SLPs, partner with other nonprofits, and advocate. And we've already talked about that. I'm trying to be mindful of our time. I'm going to talk a little bit. If you noticed in our logo, we have the mayfly for just a second. And something that I talk with kids about and why I chose the mayfly for StutterFly is, I don't know that you may know, this mayfly is one of the most favorite foods of trout. And but the mayfly lifespan is only for a female. I think the lifespan is only for just a couple of hours. For the male, I think he can live up to 2 days. But they go through these stages of growth. It starts off as a very small nymph underwater, and they hatch, and then they move up the water column, growing and eating, and then they get to the surface, and then they go through this other metamorphosis stage where they sprout wings, and then they take off into the trees. But all of this happens very quickly. So what can we learn from the mayfly, and why is it part of our logo? We grow by learning new things, having new experiences, and helping others. We explore, we choose to connect to people around us and give time to things that matter to us. And then we live. The short lifespan reminds us that we live life to the fullest by choosing to do the things that we want to do. And if that includes fly fishing, then that's great. So what is a StutterFly event? It's a 4 to 5 hour event at a local fly shop or a state park. It's a one-day opportunity to build communities. We may look at weekend opportunities here in the future as like a weekend getaway. The day is centered on outdoor activities and connection. Activities can include casting instruction, fly fishing, hiking, etc. And it's just an opportunity to meet new friends, share and to have fun. And right now, our events are open to any child who stutters, ages 8 to 18. And I think the next slide gives you, this is just kind of what would a day look like and how we break it down. So there's check-in, an intro to fly fishing. What is fly fishing? What is it all about? What are some of the gear that's involved? Bug talk is just introducing them to the different types of bugs that trout eat. And then catching bugs, we go down to the river, we get scoop nets and scoop some of the bugs out, come back and identify them and kind of match the flies and things of what we're going to be fishing with. They get to have some fly casting instruction with fly casting practice. I think we're going to build in some fly casting competition into this and have prizes and things like that. And then they get to fly fish with a guide. And actually, one of the fly shops here has really paid for 3 guides to come in and guide the kids once on June the 4th, one Sunday afternoon. So that's going to be really exciting for them. And then they transition back to the fly shop, and then there's a campfire chat just to be brief and talk about the day and things like that. So what can you do for us is please tell parents we're out there. You can tell SLPs and other students about StutterFly. We would love to connect with others in the stuttering community. We have our website. This QR code goes to our Facebook page. We would love for you to connect with us there. Share our content on social media. Again, there's our website that should link on your phone. If you have the slides pulled up, we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I think we're on every social media platform that we can get on. I don't think we're on TikTok yet, so that may be an idea for the future. But please connect with us, and we would love for you to share our content. And here's my information with other social media, phone number. If you have questions or comments or any suggestions after looking at our website, I am completely open to anything. Feel free to reach out and connect with me. Happy just to chat about fly fishing. I'm happy to talk about stuttering. Those are 2 areas that I could talk all day about, and I just love visiting and meeting new people. So feel free to connect, and we are at 8 o'clock. So I think I'm going to stop sharing so Tom can move on.
Stephen, thank you very much. What innovation. I mean, very, very cool.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate the opportunity just to share more about our nonprofit and just trying to get the word out. So thank you. Thank you for StutterFest and all of your work you're doing.